My name is Dr. Franklin Hall. In 2013, I had a run-in with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and this was implied to be my origin story, because I have spent many decades in the comic books as a formidable foe of the Avengers. However, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, my permanently postponed vilification has caused me to be even more appreciative of those who were lucky enough to actually become villains. They have gone through a lot of trauma in their lives. I have put together this new show in the effort of helping them through this process. Everyone talks about the defeat, but no one talks about what happens next. This is post-defeat! Of all the supervillains I have worked with on this YouTube channel, the most unique of them may possibly be the Octopus. Not to be confused with Dr. Octopus, he still does not return my calls. I'm talking about the Octopus. A man who started his career in the shadows, behind the curtains. You only saw his hand or his eyes. You never saw his face because he wanted people to remember him by his villainy more than by who he was. But when it came to his big break in the movies, he decided to go against his original mentality and instead embraced exposure. But every villain knows that 75.67% of what makes up a good supervillain is the costume. The Octopus never had to worry about that before, but now that he's in the spotlight, he needed a costume. So instead of choosing one, why not be all the type of supervillains all at once? Mad scientist, cowboy outlaw, Russian gangster, samurai master, neo-Nazi. The list goes on and on and on. This was something that made him unique as a villain. But then I saw a change happen. It was right after he died in the hands of the spirit. The cloning process did something to his brain. Now each costume had its own identity and its own personality. He was becoming a completely separate person with each wardrobe. I was concerned that this might be some kind of personality disorder, but he's denied it every single time. I fear that the condition is worsening now. His personas are growing more and more as his wardrobe gets larger, which is why I have put together this special interview in the hopes of convincing him to seek some help. And his latest persona is by far the most concerning. The persona calls itself Mr. Barron, and it's got some creepy connotations behind it. This was the last straw. So, who am I speaking to right now? Am I speaking to my friend the Octopus, or am I speaking to one of those other personas you like to take on?
What do you mean by persona? I am only one person, and that person is Mr. Barron.
Okay, interesting. So, Mr. Barron, as you call yourself, how exactly did you come to be? Because, from what I understand, you did not exist until just a couple of months ago. Before that, you were someone else. Someone who I care a whole lot about.
I've always been Mr. Barron, you idiot. All the way back to the 1940s.
Okay, Mr. Barron, I'll play along with you. Yes, you were around in the 1940s. Yes, you were. Oh, you're immortal, right?
Of course I'm immortal. I'm an evil, peculiar.
Peculiar? Well, you are peculiar in that you have this personality disorder.
What? I don't have no personality disorder. The only person who's batshit insane is you for thinking I'm anyone else. What will it take to prove to you that I am not batshit insane? It's you who is batshit insane.
Maybe by you trying to prove to me that you're Mr. Barron, your explanations will fall apart. And when I pick apart all of your logic, you'll realize that you really are suffering from some kind of delusion.
Fine, let's do it. I'm gonna tell you everything, and you're gonna believe me.
Okay, let's start by explaining me this. Who is Mr. Barron?
Well, Mr. Barron, which is me, is a white.
A white?
Yes, a white.
Oh dear. I'm afraid you're suffering from a similar blindness that the old man from the Chappelle Show suffered, in which he was black but thought he was white and was racist against all black people. Oh no!
No, I know I'm black. I'm a black white.
Oh my god, you have Michael Jackson disorder!
No, I don't have Michael Jackson disorder. I mean WIGHT. When I say white, I don't mean a Caucasian man. I mean a peculiar who was mutated after trying to enhance themselves using the innards of previous peculiars.
Okay, what exactly are peculiars then?
Peculiars are anybody who have special abilities that a majority of people do not have.
Oh, you mean mutants?
No, I don't mean mutants.
Okay, then you mean metahumans.
No, not metahumans.
Alright, inhumans.
No, not inhumans either.
Evos?
Where the fuck did Evos come from?
Heroes.
No one gives a fuck about heroes, no. They're none of those things. They're not mutants, they're not inhumans, they're not metahumans, they ain't no Evos. They're peculiars, and they're completely original, and they're nothing like superheroes.
Then why are you eating them then?
Because it gives me power to become an even more powerful peculiar. And I had a whole group of rich aristocratic white people to help me with it.
Now when you say white people, do you mean those whites again that you're saying?
No, I literally mean white this time, Caucasian people.
Okay, this is where I see the flaws in your story. Why would they trust you as their leader when this is the 1940s?
Well, against all odds, it just so happened that luckily these were all the most progressive white rich people ever in the 1940s.
Okay, I'll believe you then. They just so happen to all be progressive, alright.
So I took the eyeballs out of each one of those peculiars and used it to transform me and my aristocratic buddies into a bunch of giant evil monsters.
Hey, really, monsters? So, if you're a peculiar, and now you've digivolved into a white, so what is your ability then?
To shapeshift. Speaking of which, how come you're not in costume? Don't you usually dress up for Halloween?
Well, two reasons. One, I usually go as the Joker, but not this year, because never meet your heroes. You'll just get disappointed. And two, the other reason is because dressing up would just encourage you with these shenanigans you're pulling. Alright, let's get back to the topic at hand.
So, it's not enough that we have these abilities. You see, we need more of those eyeballs of the peculiars. So, we had to go get them in order for us to retain our looks. Because if we don't eat those eyeballs, we'll go back looking like those big ol' ugly monsters.
Okay, I'll hand it to you. This is a little bit more creative than your previous personas.
What the hell do you mean?
Well, you see, there's that one persona you have where you're also jealous of people who have superpowers. But I'll hand it to you, at least this time you already have a superpower. You're just trying to get more from other people.
What the hell are you talking about?
The first persona to gain its own personality was Mr. Glass. He was a comic book connoisseur who was jealous of Bruce Willis for getting superpowers when he had unsuperpowers, the exact opposite of superpowers, the kind that make you really weak instead of really strong and awesome. And he saw it his destiny that if he lived in a world where there was a superhero, then who would be the supervillain? Maybe it was him. Of course it was him! He's the octopus! But no, he refuses to believe that whenever he puts on that big ol' afro and claims to be horribly injured. Oh no, my bones break because they're glass. Oh, I called out superhero fatigue before it was cool.
That man is nothing like me.
Oh, really? Well, considering you have a similar wig...
My hair is nothing like his, and it's not a wig, it's real.
You probably just spray painted it with some gray hair coloring. Messed it up a bit, didn't you? But you do get creativity points for the colored eye lenses you got. That's a new touch. You've never added that aspect before, the eye lenses. That's interesting.
They're not eye lenses. This is my natural eye color, ever since I became a white. Forget you. You don't understand how hard it is being a white, having to shapeshift into all these different people, having to stay in Florida during election season. Do you know how much of a shit show that is? Literally, I am literally in Florida right now, recording this on the internet right now in Florida. What the fuck?
Yes, I do agree with you on that. Florida is a hellhole. But what are you doing in that hellhole?
I was there to hunt my latest prey, a little boy named Jacob Portman.
Hey, wait a minute, you're hunting little boys? Okay, I'm calling 911.
No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean at all. I'm hunting him to eat his eyeballs, remember? His eyeballs, to give me power, remember? I'm just eating his eyeballs.
Okay, alright, okay, fine. You're eating his eyeballs, alright, I'll put the phone down, alright. No 911 for now.
So, first, before I got his eyeballs, I got the eyeballs of a peculiar who is long overdue. His grandfather, Terrence Stamp.
The original General Zod? How could you do that to Poppy Original General Zod?
That's not the General Zod you're friends with. You're friends with the Michael Shannon General Zod.
Yes, but I respect my elders, and you should respect the elders too, or yourself since you claim to be from the 1940s.
So after I killed Terrence Stamp, I disguised myself as Allison Ginny to trick him into going to the faraway island where the Peculiars live. That way he could lead me to their exact location. I know they're somewhere on that island, but I never could figure where the fuck that was. That's why I wanted Asa Butterfield to lead me there.
Wait a minute, back up. How did you disguise yourself as Allison Ginny? That seems like a not very easy task.
Weren't you paying attention earlier? I explained that I am a shapeshifter.
Oh, that's right, it's your peculiarity. Then prove it. Shapeshift in front of me right now.
Alright then, here I go. I'm gonna transform into Allison Ginny.
Oh my god, hey, you're totally Allison Ginny. Oh, it's like she's right there in front of me. Oh, where did Mr. Barron go? Oh, where is he, Allison Ginny? I can't find him anywhere, Allison Ginny. Oh.
Don't patronize me, boy. You know that you have completely shit yourself by my transformation. And that's not the only person I can transform into. I can also transform into Rupert Everett.
Okay, fine then, do it.
Alright then. I'm transforming from Allison Ginny into Rupert Everett.
This one took even less effort. You just put one of those Groucho Marx glasses on yourself and then put on a hat.
Don't I look so decrepit now? I used to look sexy, but now all of a sudden I look like this. What the hell happened? I'm Rupert Everett.
Yes, I will agree with you. Rupert Everett did abruptly become decrepit, but that's beyond the point. Let's get back to this. Did Asa Butterfield lead you to the location you wanted?
Yes, he did. To Miss Peregrine's house. Miss Peregrine is the leader of the Peculiars. She is their nanny.
And what's her ability?
She has two powers. One is to control time, and the other is to turn into a bird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, control time and turn into a bird.
Those power sets don't exactly match. It makes no fucking sense.
So? Your mutants you keep talking about have weird power sets too. Isn't there that one lady who can send people's minds back in time, but she can also walk through walls? What the fuck is up with that shit?
Ooh, I thought that Peculiars weren't mutants.
They're not. God damn it.
Also, how exactly do you become a Peculiar?
Well, you see, they're slowly a next gradual state of evolution.
That's what a mutant is.
God damn it, fuck, shit, fuck.
So tell me, what are the other mutants in Miss Peregrine's school for the gifted mutants?
Well, there's a girl who can control air and she can float away or some shit.
But if she can control air, then why does she float away?
I don't fucking know. Maybe because it requires a lot of focus to stay on the ground. I don't know. Shit. Point is, she needs big old boots. Then you got this other kid who's really strong, and then you got this other kid who's like a human film projector, and he can show us dreams. Why would you do that? Why would you show the other kids your dreams? What if you have a wet dream? Are you gonna show your kids a wet dream? God damn it. And then you got this other kid who control plants. Friggin' little poison ivy kid. Because the poison ivy kid in Gotham is adult now, so gotta get this poison ivy kid. Then you got the invisible boy. Not invisible man. Invisible boy. Who gets naked a lot. Child nudity. That is sick. That is just sick. Completely sick. That is awful. Child nudity. That is disgusting. Shit. What the fuck is Miss Peregrine doing to those kids? Making them walk around naked? Uncivil. Then you got this other kid she uses fire. She's got fire powers. I think her power set was switched with the air girls. You know, she's supposed to be an airbender and she's supposed to be a firebender, not the other way around. They got the power switched up. Freaking avatars up in this bitch. Then you got these two little kids that are like Medusa kids, little Gorgons. That's why they wear those little masks, because if you look at them, you'll turn into goddamn stone. But the only time they use their powers is when they really need to, during climaxes. That's probably what they say, like, oh, these kids can only use their powers during the climax, alright? These little two twin Gorgon kids. Though they're a lot scarier with their masks, because they both look like those clowns in the news, scaring a bunch of white people and shit. Maybe all those clowns are Gorgons. Yeah, they're Gorgons. And then there's that one kid who has the abilities of Michael Clark Duncan from the Green Mile. He can have a bunch of bugs come out of his mouth. I don't know how he can cope with that, with a bunch of teeny tiny little organisms living inside of your body. It's like one of those episodes of Eaten Alive on the Discovery Channel. It's sheer horror. And then you got that little girl with a friggin' mouth in the back of her head. I don't know how useful that is, frankly. I don't know how useful that can be, really. I mean, it's only useful if someone happens to put their hand right there at that specific location in the back of her head. That's the only time when that's useful. What the fuck? And then you got that last kid who's basically like Victor Frankenstein. That's his ability, is that he can bring dead bodies back to life. But it's not like pushing daisies, where when the person comes back to life, they've got their personality back, and then they've got their emotions back, and their whole mind and stuff. No, they're undead, and it's not like a zombie. It's basically like puppets. It's like puppets. He even does that with one of the killed peculiars. Thanks to yours truly, of course. There's one that's killed. Miss Peregrine kept him up in the attic for some reason. Why the fuck would you do that? Why the fuck would you have this home for a bunch of kids and keep a corpse up in the attic? Hey, I'm gonna keep a corpse of one of your fallen friends up in the attic. Gonna give you all nightmares. God fucking damn. But yeah, he brings him back to life, but he does it like a ventriloquist puppet. He's friggin' Jeff Dunham all of a sudden. Hey, I'm Jeff Dunham, and here's my dead friend, and I'm controlling him like goddamn puppet. It's a goddamn puppet.
Are you done with that little rant you got there?
Yeah, I'm done.
So that's all of the peculiars. But what about Asa Butfield? What's his peculiarity?
Everyone can't see a white when they're a white, but he can. And that is why he was our number one priority.
Yes, and you couldn't eat his eyeballs until after he took you to the other peculiars.
Yes, and once he did, I kidnapped Miss Peregrine, forcing her to turn into a little birdie bird, so that I could suck up the power from all of the peculiar birds. All of them are super powerful, and they would fuel us for a very long time.
Well, at least this plan is less complicated than your last one.
What last plan?
The plan you made when you called yourself Valentine. Now, this persona was very perplexing. It wasn't as much of a supervillain as it was more of a James Bond type villain. And as you know, the most memorable James Bond villains are the ones who have quirks, whether it be a missing body part or a horrible mutilation, something along those lines. And in this case, it was awesome knife feet. Oh, wait a minute, that was his henchman. Oh, so what distinction did he have that was cool? Oh, he lisped. That's it? He just lisped. Lisp. Yeah. Well, at least there's that other quirk that he liked McDonald's. I guess that's a thing. But luckily, this was a persona I did not have to deal with for that long, because according to him, he died in the hands of some British boy or something who then proceeded to having anal sex. Not with him, of course, because that would be necrophilia. This has gone on for too long. Cut back to the interview.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, I don't lisp.
Yeah, you don't lisp now. Alright, so you explained your plan. How exactly did that turn out?
Well, I didn't count on those goddamn peculiars finding a goddamn sunken ship. I should have inspected that place more. Should have realized that there was a ship really close to that island that they could just go to and bring back up to the surface with that girl's air-bending powers. God damn it.
Alright, so they took the ship to your secret lair, right? Is it better than the comic book store secret lair? Or the fancy penthouse secret lair? Or the...
God damn it, boy, I only have one hideout. Just one. And it's in England, where they had to go and take the goddamn ship to. And then they got a goddamn army of skeletons being all Pirates of the Caribbean up in this shit. All these people like, what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is going on? This children running around, freaking skeletons. What the fuck is all this?
Well, I mean, it seems pretty simple, you know, the good superpowered kids fighting the bad superpowered adults. It seems simple enough.
Not when you include time travel into all the mix.
Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Those birds can time travel and shit. How exactly does that factor in?
Well, you see, the way the bird people protect the peculiar kids is by putting them in a time loop. Putting all of them in a time loop where it's always 1943 every single goddamn day.
Oh my god, that sounds horrible. That sounds miserable. Oh, they can't live a life, it seems. It seems like Miss Peregrine is overprotective of them. You know, she's gotta let them fly. She's gotta let them spread their wings, you know? Let them fend for themselves. Not keep them cooped up and live literally the same day over and over again. That sounds like imprisonment.
Well, it's better than their eyeballs getting eaten by us.
Well, it's true. She is the lesser of two evils, I guess.
So when I kidnapped her, the time loop broke, and they were stuck in 1943. And the only way to get back to the present is to go to one of those portals that could send them to the present. And the closest time loop was the one that was at this carnival, where all these people saw them and saw this happening.
And did you make a big deal about the fact that you were exposed to all those people?
That probably won't happen till a sequel. After all, I did see a few scientists scraping up some blood samples, so apparently that's gonna factor in later.
Okay, alright, I'm beginning to grasp this situation. I am, alright. So how were you defeated by these kids?
What makes you think that they were defeated? What makes you think I didn't eat their eyeballs in the end?
Because you are on post-defeat. This is the show for all the defeated villains. So why exactly would you be here if you won?
Good point. God damn it. I hate talking about this, but how I was bamboozled, my own superpower used against me.
Let me guess. You did that overdone plot trope, right? That really, really overdone plot trope where the villain impersonates the hero and then the allies come running in and they're like, oh no, which one is it? Which one do we kill? And you're both like, oh, he's the bad guy. I'm the real person. And no, he's the bad guy. I'm the real person. Did you do that overdone plot trope?
We sure did. We beat that dead horse even more.
And let me guess, the way it backfired is that one of the other whites thought that you were Asa Butfield and gobbled you up and you died.
Yep, I died. My plans were foiled. God damn it. But that's okay, because at least I ate the eyeballs of Judi Dench.
But guess what, Mr. Barron? Your whole story has completely fallen apart.
Really? How?
But before I explain how it all fell apart, I must commend you that indeed it is the most original backstory you've ever given to one of your personas. Though I did catch a few similarities to Roland Cox, especially regarding that he's a hunter of superpowered people. But hey, you did put enough spins on it to make it something different enough. Ah yes. The last persona he developed before this current one. It was similar to the Mr. Glass persona because he also hated those who had superpowers, except it wasn't out of jealousy, it was out of racism. But at least he didn't have unsuperpowers this time. There was way much less variety than the ones who he had to deal with in this current persona. Instead, it was only teleportation. But still, that's nothing to shake a stick at, which is why he had to use tasers to get rid of those jumpers. And absolutely nothing else apparently, just tasers will do the job quite well. This persona caused him the most trouble, being teleported to a mountain and stranded there, left with no one to tase.
What makes you think my story is bullshit?
Well, for starters, it's really convoluted once you put in all that time travel. I mean, it's interesting, don't get me wrong, but it feels needlessly convoluted. I feel that this would only make sense if you look back at it, not while you're watching it.
But wasn't it still a turbulent roller coaster to go on?
Yeah, I guess it was a fun joyride, and it's great to see Tim Burton have a little bit of fun again.
Wait a minute, why are you talking about Tim Burton?
Oh my god! Your crazy delusions are causing me to have crazy delusions. Now I'm thinking that Tim Burton has something to do with this. Oh, and why am I even thinking of Tim Burton in the first place? I should be considering the author of this book. She's probably the one who made this convoluted and needs to work on that story aspect.
See, now you're bringing up authors and movie directors. Are you sure you're not the crazy one?
I'm certain of it, and do you know what I have to prove to you that this is all a delusion? Because your story ends with you dying, and if you're dead, then how are you alive right now?
Well, that's easy. It's, shit. How did I come back to life? Come on. Surely there's a part of the story where I come back to life. Come on. I mean, Terrence Stamp got back to life, thanks to time travel and shit. So surely I came back to life too. Oh man, come on, think. What part of the story did I come back to life? Oh, crap. I don't recall coming back to life at all in that story. Oh my god.
Yes, you're realizing that that's all a delusion. Yes, you're coming back to reality.
No, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that that was all a delusion. I am Mr. Barron. I am. And I'm going to prove it to you and myself by transforming into a white.
Holy fucking shit! Oh god! Oh no! Oh shit! That's one hell of an illusion you got there. Probably a costume, right? It's a costume. 'Tis the season. You going trick-or-treating lately?
I'm trick-or-treating for some eyeballs.
Well, I'm not a peculiar. I'm an enhanced human. It's different.
Let me see about that. I'm gonna experiment.
Now hold on. Before you take out my eyeballs, by the way, I hope that's the only type of balls you take out of my body. But before you do that, let's have a little bit of a break, all right? And then let's have a little break, and we'll be right back after this teaser for the next episode of Post Defeat. Yes. Oh, I hope I live till then. Cut to the preview! Next week, we sit down with a brilliant scientist by the name of Dr. Miles Edwards as he discusses the horrible lab accident that he survived 16 years ago. And he also divulges on a recent lab accident regarding a superhero by the name of Max Steel. Yes, that Max Steel. Except he was rebooted into this. And yes, this was the version that got a movie instead of this version. What the fuck? Here is a snippet of the interview. So that is when I came up with the genius idea. I sucked up all of the energy from the alien, but he was dead. So I decided, why not his son? Because his son inherited all of his alienness. I get that part, but what baffles me is, how come you didn't figure out to do this until 16 years after the alien died? Well, you see, what's important is that we tackle the young adult genre, okay? Everyone has to be angsty and a teenager, okay? I couldn't do it while he was a baby. I had to wait till he was an angsty emo teen who was lonely and had social issues, even though he is hot and sexy. Yeah, but haven't you been seeing the recent young adult movies lately? That genre, I think, is beginning to die. Oh, shit! Well, at least we still can capitalize on the superhero genre. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure only like 8 people saw your movie. Well, I don't need to hear your bullshit. I survived an explosion. Oh, that's right. Max Steel overflooded your energy intake and caused you to explode. Yeah, him and that stupid flying Mike Wazowski robot. I fucking hate that flying alien vagina. But if you exploded, then how did you survive? Well, you never saw a body, did you? So that means I could still easily be alive. Yeah, that's true. You could have escaped. So what are you gonna do now that you're free? I am going to do something about this horrible throat infection. See? And that's what we'll have to look forward to in the next episode. So all you have to do is keep me alive. Alright? Just keep me alive so I can do that, alright?
Finally, you believe me. You believe that I am a giant monster.
Yes, I do. I do believe that you're a giant monster.
Yes, and say goodbye to your eyesight, because the last thing you'll ever see is my non-existent face.
Okay, Slender Man, okay.
I'm not Slender Man. Slender Man is just some stupid millennial bullshit creepypasta. I am Mr. Barron. I make Slender Man and Jeff the Killer shit in their pants.
Oh, I wish I didn't have these powers that made me peculiar. Wait a minute. That's right. I have powers. Yoink!
Wait, what?
Yep, I just took off your mask, proving that that was a costume the whole time.
The fuck? My face! My face is off!
You are so into the delusion that you thought you were actually a monster when you were wearing that costume.
Oh, that was a mask? Oh my God! I really am not Mr. Barron. Then who am I?
This is what I've been trying to tell you. You're the octopus. Don't you remember? You're the arch nemesis of the spirit. Don't you remember?
I remember being jealous of those who had superpowers, and then I remember wanting to kill those who had superpowers, and then I remember living in a world where superpowers didn't even exist, just espionage. And then I remember wanting those superpowers for myself and creating those who had superpowers. I remember all of that.
Yes, now all you have to do is just remember which one is your real personality. Which one is really you. I know you can do it, Octopus. Just search deep down inside yourself. Search deep and you'll find your true self.
Oh, I'm looking deep. Who am I? Am I a Russian mobster? No. Am I a James Bond villain? No. Am I a cowboy? No. Am I a Nazi? Thank God, no. Who am I? Who am I?
Come on, Octopus. You can do it. You can figure it out.
I'm not Roland Cox. I'm not Mr. Glass. I'm not a mad scientist. I'm not even Mr. Barron. And I'm not the octopus either.
Wait, what? You mean the friend that I knew for so long is just another one of those personas?
Yeah, he was just another one of those delusions. I'm really Nick Fury.
Oh my God, how could I have been so blind? Of course you were Nick Fury the whole time. And I couldn't figure it out that you were going through an identity crisis from the moment I met you. I'm sorry, Nick Fury. I'm sorry I couldn't get you out of this sickness earlier.
That's okay, Graviton. What's important is that I finally figured out who I truly am, what my destiny really is. Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Screw this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. bullshit, where Agent Coulson is director, and now it's this Captain America wannabe who's director. Screw that! I am director, and I'm gonna take that mantle back now that I've sorted things out with my personalities.
But what will happen to those other personas?
They are locked back up in my head. They're not gone. I just need to keep them in check. Thank you, Graviton.
You're welcome, but is it still possible to be friends? Even though you're completely a separate person from how I met you?
It's possible. Maybe. But wait, what the hell is that? It looks like some kind of interdimensional wormhole.
Oh no! I forgot! The rules of this YouTube channel!
What? What are the rules?
The rules are that only supervillains can be in this universe, not superheroes!
But what does that have to do with... It's pulling me in!
The universe is trying to kick you out because you're no longer a supervillain! No! No! Nick Fury, come back! You're still my friend!
And you're still my friend, Graviton, even though your universe says otherwise. I'll never forget you, Graviton. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Graviton. I've gotta go run S.H.I.E.L.D.
Goodbye, Nick Fury. Goodbye. Oh no, what have I done? Oh. And so, yes, that was my breakthrough with the I'm sorry, Nick Fury. But it was at a horrible cost, because he is no longer a supervillain. But he will still be my friend. This is one of the sadder, more tragic endings of these interviews. Hopefully next time won't end as sadly. Speaking of which, I know that we promised the villain of Max Steel for next episode, but we realized that the clip we showed basically spoiled the whole interview, so there's really no point in showing it now. But what you should know is that he is seeking treatment for his throat infection. That's what you should focus on. So instead, for next time, we will be investigating a series of bizarre occurrences that have been happening lately. These baffling mysteries have been defying the laws of physics. We will sit down with an expert to get some answers. I'll see you then.